I feel a massive sense of responsibility for being a custodian for Test cricket. The Barmy Army has been really so passionate about that version of the sport, and we're one of the real success stories. It's our duty to really shout from the hilltops about how good it is and what the future's like for Test cricket. I think for the Barmy Army, you talk about pantomime villains. If Steve Smith's the captain, it's no bad thing. I know a lot of the Barmy Army guys that make up the songs and really have a good go. It's really hard to get at Pat because he's so good, he's so perfect, he's so well spoken, and he's such a great guy by all accounts. So it's a bit easier to get at Steve Smith. You've got the Bazball effect, the halo effect of English cricket at the minute. There's a real buzz about it. The team feels together, and when the team feels together, the fans feel together. Players and fans are the most important thing in sport, and when they're united between the players and the fans and they can see that they're trying their best and there's success on the pitch, then it really drives the following as well, and we've seen that. So the numbers are huge for the Ashes, and you've seen Brendan come in and Stokesy, and what they've done is put a little bit of fire behind Test cricket, which is awesome.
Chris, welcome to the Business of Sport.
Pleasure to be here.
Oh, man, it's so fun. Look at this as well. I now actually can look at the cameras properly, as I said at the beginning, but I mean,
it suits
hell
you.
of a shirt.
I'm just glad I asked for your size, because on the YouTube you look a bit smaller than you are in real life.
Yeah, it's the old Zoom people, and you only chat with them online, and suddenly they go, "Wow, wasn't expecting that."
Yeah, you'll see it's the 05 retro style Admiral shirt. So we're trying to bring a bit of good fortunes ahead of the winter to come with the 05 winning shirt.
It's a brilliant shirt. Retro kits are great, aren't they? I mean, they live their life now. You see the football shirts, the amount of stuff around there.
Yeah.
Well, it's the transition to fashion. You were saying having these bucket hats at music festivals now, like coming out into everything. It's been an incredible part of the business, I'm sure.
It is. I was just saying to you off air, but seeing people wearing your brand at a music festival when you're there is just like, wow. It really has impact, because you've got the Barmy Army is a music festival, amazing, singing songs, and that's what it's about, being part of a community.
It's a perfect time to have this chat. We'll, tying this in as when people are listening to this will be the Ashes. So I'll just caveat the fact we're having this chat a little bit beforehand. There may be a few things, if we reference them, that you'll know by then. But let's just start with that, right? We have this incredible, hopefully, as England fans, winter ahead of us. And you were telling me about the size of touring party that you take out there. Tell everyone what the Barmy Army have lined up.
It's certainly going to be the biggest cricket tour of all time. We've got over 3,500 people coming out with us. That's on the official tour programme, and we're looking to take as many people as we can to help them facilitate the tour. So you've got to look after those people. You've got to make sure they have a great time, but they've entrusted us to take them away for the winter. There's loads of honeymoons, there's loads of retirement presents. It's everyone's big ticket item, right? They've been saving up for years. So yeah, we'll be over there very soon, and we've got many people coming out with us, and I'm sure they'll have the time of their lives, subject to England doing the job.
Run us through the logistics. 3,500 people under your banner, if we want, but also let's call it your community. How do you even begin to organise it?
Yeah, so the 3,500 are quite a small group of the actual touring party. So we expect there to be 40,000 England fans in Australia for the Ashes, but the 3,500 have booked with us, so they come on our official travel programme. They can book anything between a hotel and ticket package, which is purely your hotel in Melbourne and your tickets to the MCG, right the way through to a 54-night package, flying business class, tickets to every event, tickets to all the cricket, a little bit of hospitality in there. So it really does range from people doing it budget, getting out there, wanting to go there with the mates, making sure they're in the Barmy Army section, right the way through to the people that want the luxury, want that experience. There's something for everyone. That's why we've been able to take so many people away. And behind that is an operational challenge. I think it's fair to say. I think everyone who goes on holiday knows the ops that goes into that, and making sure your documents are right, everything's in place. We take care of all that. So we look after everything from the booking of the aircrafts, obviously, the logistics to and from the stadium, the logistics to and from the airport, managing them on tour, making sure people have a good time. So I was just telling you about the training exercise we've got on for our staff. So we're quite a small team. We're still a small business. We've got just over 20 people full-time in the office up north. But for the Ashes, we will be taking over 50 staff. So that alone in itself is a big operation for us. So it really doesn't paint the picture until you're there and you see this for yourself and you see how big an Ashes tour is in Australia for England and for the Barmy Army.
How do you manage the tickets? Do you have the relationships with the governing bodies and you get allocations?
Yeah, Cricket Australia are really forward thinking. So they've got a company called Cato, which is the Cricket Australia Travel Office, who look after the travel management side of their operation. It's a big revenue stream to Cricket Australia. It's really well received commercially by them, and they're one of the governing bodies that are ahead of the game, we think, with sports tourism. And that we've been on sale with Cricket Australia since December last year. And tickets only went onto general sale June this year. So they see that opportunity because we sell a product that is packaged with a hotel and with a transfer, and obviously has more commercial value than just selling a ticket to a fan in Australia. So they see the value. We see the value as well, being a company that's obviously one of their main retailers. And we're able to make sure that we have such a big allocation and we're all sat together and we can bring so many people over because Cricket Australia are a little bit ahead of the game in terms of understanding that there is commercial value to be driven from a touring party.
What's the hardest part of doing all of this?
Risk management. So we have to take on a lot of risk management, and I think for any sports travel company that works in a similar sort of industry, there is a lot of risk on the line. And margins aren't big either, so you're taking a lot of risk on, and it, depending on how big your guts are to really go for this. Like we knew this was going to be big. There hasn't been an Ashes tour since 17-18 because of COVID, and that was a massive loss to many businesses, and also England.
Yeah, less said about that the better.
Yeah, we'll move on from that one.
I'll never forget staying up. First ball, bowled around the legs.
I'll be honest, I can trump that. We had 600 people in a bar doing an all-nighter in London, central London, 600 people, and Ryan Sidebottom, a special guest. We'd booked the bar all night, everyone up, first ball. The atmosphere was buzzing. Start the Ashes. Everyone's really buzzing for it. First ball, doof. I think there was people asleep by midnight. So.
It just set the tone, didn't it?
Yeah,
it really set the tone. It was like Harmy bowling to third slip in, was it 07?
Yeah.
And then, you just know. You know what's coming.
Yeah, you do.
But this time, there's a really good feeling around it. And I'd imagine for a touring party, that just adds a huge amount. When you're not just there for the fun time, but when there is the genuine hope and expectation that performance can accompany it.
That's one of the main drivers. So you've got the Bazball effect, the halo effect of English cricket at the minute. There's a real buzz about it. The team feels together, and when the team feels together, the fans feel together. So players and fans are the most important thing in sport. And when there's proper community and when they're united between the players and the fans and they can see that they're trying the best and there's success on the pitch, then it really drives the following as well. And we've seen that. So the numbers are huge for the Ashes, and we're super excited by it. But we've got to make sure that from a commercial point of view and from a business perspective, we get it right because we've been trusted to provide this experience to people. So that's what we'll do.
How's it changed? So the Barmy Army is in the Oxford Dictionary, right? We're now more than just a fan group. It is a proper business. You've just mentioned a touring company. How do you define this organisation now?
Yeah, there's been many phases, right? From inception in 94, 95, when it was very much a fan club of passionate England fans singing songs and having a good time. And Paul Burnham, the founder that's really driven it since 94 and up until I got involved in 16, 17, he made sure that there was a lifeblood of membership there, and there was people that were quite passionate about the Barmy Army. So it's been through many phases, and then latterly we've tried to accelerate the brand and the growth. But at the heart of it, what will never change, it's a community. So it's a community of like-minded people, and that doesn't matter if you're our youngest person who's touring the Ashes with us who's 3 years old, or our oldest person who's 85 years old. There's a place for everyone in the Barmy Army, and I think it was probably discredited a lot in the mid-2000s, being male lads that just like to go and get drunk, and Paul fought really hard to protect the brand and make sure it wasn't seen as football fans, it was seen as a unified, passionate cricket fans, and we've built on that, and we've made sure that the brand represents every fan. So some of the fans we have that tour with us the most, we've got one lady who, she doesn't like being mentioned, but she's been on 29 consecutive tours. She's a widow. She's toured with us. She trusts us. She comes on her own, and she is far from what you would say is your typical Barmy Army fan that you would, that AI would generate. it's definitely not the lady in question. So it is a place for everyone. And as soon as people come to the Barmy Army, they feel part of the community. And that's why our retention's so high.
25%, you said, will come as single tickets. That to me was incredible. When you're really talking about community and the power of sport and a sense of belonging, right? This is something that means way more to people than the result of a 5-day test match or a various cricket format, whatever you want.
That's exactly right, and we're big on it. So we're really big on community, as you know, but the big thing is, if you are a single traveller, if you are someone who's unfortunately widowed or divorced or is just an independent traveller, then you are welcome with us. We want to make sure we tell that story, that you feel like you're part of something. We do matchmaking services, so if you're a single solo traveller that can't afford this single supplement, we'll try and match you. So you'll phone our office and we'll try and match you with someone who's like-minded. It's like a Barmy Army friend matching service that we have going on in the office, and we've matched 52 people for the Ashes tour. So there's 52 people that couldn't afford to do it on their own. We've matched them with someone they don't know yet that we think's like-minded, and they'll go on that tour and they'll probably make friends for life.
What the financials that you can talk about? How has this all come together as a business? What's the revenue generation now around this, from individual tours to, I guess, total business?
Yeah. So look, the Ashes is every 4 years. The away Ashes for us is massive, and it really does drive growth for the business for the future. And we're able to really make a lot off the Ashes every 4 years to be able to grow the business and improve it for the future, because an Ashes year will do really well, taking a lot of people over to Australia. It's not a cheap place to go. It's an expensive ticket, so that's not cheap. So that clearly drives a lot of revenue for us, but we have to safeguard against the Pakistan and New Zealand tour, where you might take 30 people, 100 people, but we still have the overhead of making sure the business is in place and is stable to be able to deliver major tours like the Ashes and like South Africa. So it fluctuates hugely. The Ashes being the big one, and then you've got South Africa, West Indies that are very successful commercially as well, but there's nothing like the Ashes. There is just simply nothing like it. When we're at home, the Barmy Army, we don't do huge amounts commercially, but we make sure that the membership is thriving, that we have tickets to all the games, that we do events for people, but by premise, the Barmy Army is about going on tour, taking people overseas and making sure everyone has a good time whilst they're doing that.
But as you say, it's still interesting, isn't it? Because your job, your place in cricket, even on home soil, is still so strong. You're there outside of Lords, obviously. You're there at all the grounds, and it's still the Barmy Army. You still got the trumpet in the crowd. You're kicking the day off with Jerusalem. Yes, it's domestic on home soil, but it just takes up a different role than it will do for away tours. Yeah,
and the thing about UK cricket is we want to make sure we're there as a presence as much as anything else. It isn't, we are the community we're trying to create, and that doesn't matter if you're on tour or not. So even at Lords, we have tickets, but we're not allowed to have the trumpet in because there's no musical instruments. But I'll keep banging on the door at the MCC and making sure that they're aware of us. And I think that will change over time. But it's one of the few historical things that stood in the way of the Barmy Army being in every ground in the world. But there's something quite unique about Lords anyway, so we can leave that there.
Touched on it earlier, but the change in style of cricket, this very, very exciting form of test match cricket, I mean, we can say Bazball, I know they hate it, but how much have you seen that influence the appetite for the long form game when it comes to membership, if it comes to appetite for touring? Do you think that has a really close link?
Yes, for sure. I think we went through a period of time where Test cricket in England was in probably transition, and you've seen Brendan come in and Stokesy, and what they've done is put a little bit of fire behind Test cricket, which is awesome. I mean, at the heart of the core of the Barmy Army, we are Test cricket fans, and we really have never wavered from that. We support all formats of cricket, but Test cricket is the heartbeat of English cricket, I think, and that's something that we've seen grow significantly since Brendan McCullum's come back in, and you've got Stokesy firing on all cylinders and really committing to Test cricket. And when you see that commitment from your talisman player and a coach that's done really, really well, I think fans buy into that, and they really, really get on board with the fact that, okay, we're going to Australia. It's so hard to win an Ashes tour. We're probably never going to have as good a chance with the coach we've got and the captain we've got at the minute. let's get behind that. And membership increases, merch sales increase, and clearly the travel program's done really, really well for Australia. So it's certainly going to be an interesting move when we see the back end of Stokes and McCullum and what happens. But I say to our team, it's our job to make sure that we're providing the experience that the Barmy Army provides that we think is addictive.
Yeah.
So when those 3,500 people come on their first, many of them first timers will come on their first tour, they'll get the bug. And you know what? We'll see a lot of them in South Africa, no matter who the captain is or the coach is, because it's the uniqueness of touring with English cricket that is a community that no matter how bad they are, how good they are, we see same faces year on year.
How do you interact with the opposition from a business standpoint? I know obviously we have the good stuff on the fan side, but when it comes down to making these tours happen, I guess there's a huge amount of collaboration. We talked about tickets, but just in general, all of those touring organisations, how important is it to build that broader relationship in cricket?
Our relationship with the overseas governing bodies is incredibly strong. The majority of them see the value of the Barmy Army and what it brings, and we work years and years out with. We're talking to Cricket South Africa now about the next tour. The previous tour there in 2019, I went out in 2017, and we actually had a say on where the schedule was going to be. So we helped inform Cricket South Africa on their ground selection based on where tourists wants to go. PE was put in there just before the Cape Town test because we knew it would be a popular destination, and that was the impact of the Barmy Army working with the governing body to build the tour around the travel side of things as well, because it is a holiday to a lot of people with a lot of cricket included. So we try and showcase that working with us, let's work with you on your merchandise, let's work with you on logistics of the tour as well. It really does stand everyone in good stead, because when the influx of the English crowd comes, doesn't matter if they're travelling with us independently, with another operator, a lot of the smaller governing bodies aren't necessarily that prepared for it. So I see it as our job to make sure that the governing body is prepared for what's to come. And if we can influence that and if we can help that, then it's going to be better for the fan, no matter who they are.
How do the players interact with you?
Fantastic. They're incredible. They always have been. I know back in 94, 95, right through to today, they've always been very positive about what the Barmy Army is. And at the heart of what the Barmy Army is, it's about support. And it's always been positive, and it's always looking for the positive to take out of the situation. And I think the players really respect that. There isn't usually a line where the cricket fan would cross and really criticise and get in your face. We prefer to showcase that we'll support no matter what. So day 5 of the Ashes test in 17-18 in 2018 in Melbourne, we'd lost early on day 4 or day 5, and the Barmy Army were in the ground for 3 hours after still singing the songs, because we were there to support. And even though we were losing quite badly, they were still there in the ground, and the players respect that.
I was going to say, have you spoken to Joe and said, you better make it to Melbourne and Sydney still competitive, or we're going to...
We have. We've had that conversation. Like you said, for us, making sure that we win one of the first 3 tests so that going into Melbourne, Sydney, there's something to play for is paramount, because there are times where on the last tour that we were there for, that people were flying out in their droves for Melbourne and Sydney for Christmas and New Year, and it's all done. So
I mean, our record's horrible. I was looking at things. What is the last 14 tests? We've lost 13 and drawn 1.
It's not great, is it?
There's really no better time to change it.
There is no better time, and there's a good feel. And I know we spoke about the news about the Australia team might not be as strong as it possibly could be due to injury. Let's see. I'm sure when this goes out, then things might have changed. But we're excited, quietly confident, and looking forward to it.
Well, if Pat doesn't make it, and again, I said everyone will know because the decision will be made. But if he doesn't make it and Steve Smith comes in, I bet the fans will have their fun anyway, won't they?
I think for the Barmy Army, we talk about pantomime villains. If Steve Smith's the captain, it's no bad thing. It's very hard to... I know a lot of the Barmy Army guys that make up the songs and really have a good go, and our social media team that try and get a bit of action on social media going. It's really hard to get at Pat because he's so good, he's so perfect, he's so well spoken, and he's such a great guy by all accounts. So it's a bit easier to get at Steve Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I get ribbed by all my mates because it's like, oh, you turncoat, Aussie, hang out with the enemy, all that. Genuinely, like, you can say it probably is a really good guy, and it is, it is a massive conflict when we have the moments in cricket, like the throwing down the stumps at Lords, and you have those things where it just stokes up that side of the game. But off it, then you actually see what they're like and what it's all about. they're great people. Like they are actually really, really good people. And you can see that quite often within, the teams. The franchise cricket, these players playing so much together, the relationships I'm sure they build behind the scenes. It's good, right? It's nice to see it. Have your fun on the pitch, have that kind of pantomime villain piece, but off it, be decent.
And I think at the heart of cricket players, they are like cricketers, and cricket fans are very similar, aren't they? Right? They aren't like football fans. At the heart of it, you look at the players and you think, yeah, I could probably go for a beer with him. But you know what? We're supporting England. Let's get after them. And at the end of every Ashes series that I've seen or been on, the Australia team have come over and clapped the Barmy Army and for the support. And I think they see how special it is. And we often say that if Australia had a fan group like it, it would be great for the game. But unfortunately, they don't.
Well, when we had Pat on the show, you talked about earlier, we did the clip, and asked him what his favourite Barmy Army chant was. And he did, it's big, he's bad, he's selected by his dad, Mitchy Marsh. And he said, obviously, that wasn't his dad anyway. Rob Marsh wasn't Mitch Marsh's dad. But we really said, do you listen to it? And he said, yeah, I mean, look, let's be realistic. We're in the field for a long time, right? And quite often, not a lot's happening. Yeah. So the players do feed off it, whether it's home crowd, away crowd. And there is a respect. Yes, you may have moments where it gets close to the line, but there is a massive respect from the fun that the Barmy Army has, even with the Aussie players, right, in those moments. There's a lot of fun behind it.
Yeah, and there's the respect there, and I think there's a respect from the fans as well. The Barmy Army at the heart is very self-policing as well. So you've got a lot of people that have done a lot of tours that sit in the middle of it, near the trumpet player, and as you know, 'cause you've been on a tour before, that there's a lot of people that try and get around the trumpet player and want to be part of that special atmosphere, which is great. But there's a lot of people in the Barmy Army legends that have done a lot of tours that will tell people straight if they're stepping too far, or like, I know some of the songs do swear because herd mentality, but a lot of the time the trumpet player and the guys that are around them write the songs will try and make sure there's no swearing in the songs. It is an environment where families can be as well, and not just lads. And
one of huge respect. I remember when Pat's mum tragically passed away, they did the Maria piece when Phil Hughes died. There was a great moment with Barmy Army. So, and I remember he said he remembered that.
And that's cricket for me.
Yeah.
Cricket is a big community. Like, we can have the rivalries, we can have the banter, but ultimately we are all fans and players, custodians of the game, and we want this beautiful game of Test cricket to be around in 30, 40, 50 years' time, and it would never go past the boundary of respect.
Did you find any friction when it went from fan group to business? Were there any challenges that risked, I guess, corrupting may be the wrong word, but put at risk those core values when it became more of a commercial entity?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a tightrope, to be completely honest, and it's been something that I know Paul found very challenging before me, and when I've taken over, I've found very challenging. It's the core values at the heart of everything we do that aligns from a business perspective and a supporter perspective. When people sign up to be a member, there's a code of conduct that they have to sign up to, and we police that, and if anything oversteps the mark, we'll make sure that there's consequences to that. Revoking membership has happened on the odd occasion, but we've tried to make sure there's complete alignment between the business, the people that run the business, and the core value of what the Barmy Army is. And I think by doing that, we've been able to navigate through trickier times, because like anything, when the commercial side of the operation grows, there are people that just want it to be like it was and just want to get a t-shirt on a corner. They don't want to be in a store, or they want to walk to the pub and have a pint with their mates, but we're charging for tickets at an event where they've got speakers on. So there's always going to be that little clash, and we have had challenges over the years, but we've always tried to navigate through saying, look, we are fans that run this operation. At the heart of it, we're massively passionate fans, the same as you, but to make this better, to make this bigger, to make the Barmy Army what we think it could be, it's a global movement already. It's in the Oxford Dictionary. We've got to generate some commercial revenue behind it to then invest to grow and keep it going.
Has the relationship from a business perspective with the ECB feeding off each other now, getting to a stage where you're massively complementary, if we want to call it that, rather than having friction? How important has that been?
Very. And I know there's been challenges over the years, and there was, again, before my time, they set up the 12th man, and what people say in the Barmy Army to almost rival the Barmy Army, to try and dilute the power the Barmy Army had. But ultimately, who wants to be a part of an official fan club when there's a thriving, buoyant, unofficial movement? So a lot of the time when you go on tours, you won't see the fans wearing the official playing shirt. You'll see them in the Barmy Army tour shirt with the design on the back, because I think cricket fans know the cricket fans, and they're not pretending to be the players, and they almost don't want the official shirt. They want the tour shirt. They want to say, I was on this tour, this is a badge of honour. And I think when the ECB realised that we weren't a threat, we were someone that they should work with and move together with, the relationships really improved, and we help each other. So they help us before a tour with security. So when there was a Pakistan tour, we were in touch with Reg, who's the head of security, when he did a recce in Pakistan, talking about our hotels and our ground operators, and we are in touch with them on safety in the UK. Like I said to you offline, we've got direct comms with the ECB safety team, where their eyes and ears in the stand, and we're helping them. So I think a unified relationship is far better than one that was disparate and potentially seen as a competitor. But we'll never cross the line, because as fans, it's still our duty to be able to call out the ECB if we think that needs to happen.
And to do stuff like this, right? Really cool merch. We've joked at the beginning, but it's a huge part of the business. Is this a simple licensing agreement? I know there's nothing England, I don't think, actually on it, but are those types of things really important revenue for you as well? How do they work?
Yeah, they're a massive part of what we do. So it's built on a very similar model to a football club or a cricket club, but without the broadcast. So our version of broadcast is travel. So our travel revenue is the large portion of what we do, but behind that there is significant merchandise, there is commercial partnerships, and there's a lot of media stuff as well. So and events, of course. So with merchandise, we've always tried to make stuff that the fan wants to wear, not too official. I know you're in a retro shirt, but yeah, you're picking up the bucket hat. That's reversible, by the way.
Oh, it is as well.
If you see yourself as more of a subtle Barmy Army fan rather than an overtly proud trumpet
For
wearer.
anyone on video, you can see what it is.
Yeah. And what we've done is
Morning and afternoon.
Yeah, the range for the Ashes is off the scale. So we've got kids shirts, we've got the full range. That I think we've printed about 30,000 items for the tour. So that alone is a bit of a beast. So we've got people out there now just working on the project and making sure that we're able to offer people something with the brand on to showcase they've been to the Ashes.
That's a great business in itself, right? I mean,
absolutely. We think fundamentally that the merchandise side and the commercial partnership side of what we do is really strong. We've nurtured that, and we've really grown that over the years. And just today we've confirmed our deal with TNT to be our partner for the Ashes. So they'll be our major partner. So it goes hand in hand that the broadcasters for the series in the UK are sponsoring the fan group, which we see as a perfect fit, because we'll of course be pushing people to watch the game who aren't fortunate enough to travel out as well.
what does that mean? How do you work with TNT?
So we'll do a partnership with them that they'll sponsor all the merchandise, they'll sponsor our social media graphics online, they'll become our major partner for the tour. So their brand will be everywhere, but in turn we will give them rights to the trumpet player and to come and sit with us, come to our events, and we'll help them with content on the ground as much as anything else. So we've always worked with them on the past tours. They see the value in working with the fans, and I guess you've got the official broadcast, which is got the eyeballs on, but on another layer of that is the content piece from TNT, and we see ourselves really slotting into that content piece quite well to bring the tour to life for people that are back at home watching on the telly, because you know as well as I do now, people that are watching the game on the telly are also watching it on the phones.
Yeah.
And you're seeing two different versions of the same game. So you're seeing the version from the stands with the fans whilst you're scrolling, and you're also watching the official broadcast on the TV.
Your socials are quality. Who's in charge of that? Like, how does that feature in the grand plan?
Yeah, we've got a really good team. We've got a team of 4 people that work really hard on the Barmy Army social media page, and it's a massive part of what we do. It's our voice, it's our eyes, it's our ears. The noise we've generated over the years has been significant. I mean, when we came in 2018, we had 90,000 social media followers. That was one of the big things that we needed to do. We turned that from 90,000 to 2 million, and it has become so powerful for us. It's become our go-to to spread our message, spread our word, but also the commercial value you can drive from that back to what we do as an organisation has been brilliant. And we love the fact that we've become the tongue-in-cheek operator in the cricket space for England. We feel we can say things that the ECB might not or can't, and we've also got a serious side to that as well with what we did for Pat's mum and what we try and do to showcase the community of cricket, as well as the banter and the fun we have poking fun at surfboard jibs and things like that.
Do you have situations where, yes, all this is fun, we're looking at it and bringing fans to it, it's the most important thing, right? Fandom, if we're boiling this whole chat down, that's the only thing this is really about, right? Collective fandom in cricket at the top end is amazing. Fandom in other areas of cricket has been challenging, like really challenging over the last few years. Yes, we've seen things like the 100 short form cricket coming in and doing a great job and getting more people in, but we're still looking at the fundamentals of the game, should we say, the counties, those traditional businesses, and they're quite worrying. How, from your perspective, how does the role you play in broader cricket filter down? Does it filter down to that level where you can try and help the game protect itself, develop, like modernize?
Yeah, I feel a massive sense of responsibility for being a custodian for Test cricket. I think that the Barmy Army has been really so passionate about that version of the sport, and there's been more question marks in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years around Test cricket, and we've really seen growth more than anything. So it's our duty. We're one of the real success stories around Test cricket. It's our duty to really shout from the hilltops about how good it is and what the future's like for Test cricket. We just hope that the people that have the powers to schedule Test cricket and to make sure that it has the opportunity to succeed that it should be given is given that opportunity. And I think that is the most important thing from a Barmy Army standpoint. And then below that, filtering down from that, is without county cricket, what is Test cricket? Where do the Test cricket players come from? So it clearly needs reform, but how and when does that reform happen? And one of the biggest things that I've always said is, unfortunately, there has been no consultation with fans around what the future of county cricket should look like, around what the future of Test cricket should look like. We've had some very top-line conversations with the ECB, but it doesn't feel like there's a real connection between what fans want to see and what the key decision makers are doing about the game. So I'll give you an example. I was at World Cricket Connects, which is the conference the MCC put on yearly about the future of cricket and the direction of cricket. And there's some really interesting people there, and the conversation was very much around fans and around structure. I was one of 2 fan representatives in a room of 100 people. So there's 100 people that are controlling the game of cricket and making things happen and making key decisions in cricket, but there's only 2 people that represent the fans in that room that have very, I guess, limited voice when it comes to things like scheduling and things like helping with key decisions that actually are about cricket and the future of cricket. This isn't about whether we like county cricket or whether Leicester will survive or whether the Barmy Army will go on another tour to the West Indies. This is about the game, and we should all come together collectively to try and work on a future of the game that works for everyone.
It's a massive problem globally as well, isn't it? I mean, I say globally, let's say internationally across the cricket community, because if you're looking at Test match teams, you're really talking about England, India and Australia, and then the rest of them finding it really hard to maintain their long form game. So yes, it's domestic, but it is, it's ICC driven. It has to be a collective movement. There has to be work done across all of these countries to protect it, because otherwise we love it, right? The India tour this summer was fantastic. The Ashes tours are amazing. But like everything, you still need to have a thriving community outside of that to maintain levels of competitiveness, touring opportunities, all of the things that make cricket great.
Exactly right. And being brutally honest, the ICC have employed someone from the BCCI to run the show. And we need to make sure that we are coming together to shout as loud as we can, to have a say in what we do. And I feel it's the ECB's responsibility to be our vocal point. And we know they will be championing Test cricket and championing the future of the game, but we need to make sure that we protect it as much as we can. But going back to your point around the future of cricket and touring, so beyond just the game of cricket, the value that an England tour has, so the Barbados tour that you went on, that was worth $80 million to Barbados. and that is a massive amount of investment into the island, a small island, for a 7-day period of time. That's $80 million into circulation on the island for the bars, for the hotels, for the transport companies. It's huge.
And produced a pitch to maximise it as well.
Yeah, they made sure people were there for 5 days. So can you blame them?
No.
So and in that same vein, an Ashes tour in 17-18 was worth $400 million. 400 million Australian dollars into circulation over those 6 weeks. Now that was in 17-18. This tour could be worth $750 million for the Australian GDP, which is just shows you the power that Test cricket has beyond the game for tourism, for the local bars, restaurants, and we need to keep that going because it's amazing and it has serious impact, and it's a reason for people to visit countries they've not visited before.
How do you change it then? Like what should we be doing from your perspective?
The next schedule of the World Test Championship is vitally important. If there is no recognition for the West Indies and for Sri Lanka, then that's a massive problem, and I think it's the ECB's duty to put on tours to those countries. The governance around scheduling is a huge problem in cricket. The ICC have to grab hold of that. They have to govern the schedule. They have to take it. There's so many private leagues with so much money. The ICC are the only people who can grab control of that and say, we're in charge of the schedule. This is when World Cups are played. This is when Test cricket's played. This is when the IPL's played. And that would allow governing bodies to plan better, to make sure that we are doing our bit to keep the lights on for West Indies Test cricket and Sri Lanka Test cricket, doing more in South Africa. And I think there's a duty of care from the ECB to make sure that happens, because we can't just say West Indies come here every 3 years and play, Sri Lanka come here every 3 years and play. If they're not in a World Test Championship schedule, we need to be saying, okay, I know there's no points on the line. We're going to come and play a 2 Test series before we go to India for a 5 Test series, something like that.
I mean, the tax on the players is huge as well, right? I mean, if we're really talking about, calendars, it's Test match, but then it's also fitting in every single short form tournament that comes in. It's your 1 days. You roll straight out of it and out of a Test series, and we're playing 1 days and T20s against the teams straight after, quite often with maybe half of the team transferring over. So it's quite a tough one, isn't it? Because yes, you obviously have this side and you want to do it, but also more pressure on the players, more time away from home.
Yeah,
it's hard to navigate.
It is, and I think what is the sport without the players and the fans? There isn't much there, is there? And what we're seeing is the private leagues are popping up and offering players ridiculous amounts of money, where they're having to make a decision on, do I put my family life first and say, okay, I'll take 3 weeks work in the UAE that means nothing to me personally, but I'll go and play for a team over there, take the money, but I might have to miss an England series, or I might have to miss my county team. Then when they're getting later on in their careers, they're going to make that decision, right? It's probably the best thing to do for their families. I think, what can the game do on an incentive basis to marginalise the private leagues and make it more lucrative to carry on playing for your country as long as you can, carry on playing the major series, and make sure that the fans keep generating that interest in the game. And I think if we can change the structure of the incentives, which isn't easy because it's financial, isn't it? But I think how could a player turn down a lot more money for a lot less work as they're getting older in their careers? Something has to change.
What's your favourite place to go if it's not Australia? Where do you like?
This is such a tough question because all the countries are so different. But for me personally, it's probably New Zealand. It's just
beautiful
incredible.
Place.
Oh, wow. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. There was a day-night test match in Mount Maunganui, and that place is just ridiculous. And you just think, oh, this could be me. But on the flip side to that, South Africa.
Newlands.
Yeah. Played there. Day after the test match, the Barmy Army played the press. So it was day 6 of the test match, we said. So we played against the press. It was good fun.
Talk us through it. What do you do? Walk out for bat for 5 hours?
Yeah, I missed a couple off Sam Millard, the opening bowler from TalkSport, and then Shill Berry, the mid-70s journalist. He got slog swept twice into the stands by me, and that was me. Retired on 25.
Nice. Okay.
What tough. Let someone else have a go.
Right, and back in at the end or not?
No. I think we had about 15 players wanting a bat, so I needed to make sure we gave everyone a go.
It's a beautiful ground, though, right? I mean,
it's incredible. That's another unique thing about the Barmy Army. So we'll go to these amazing tours, and we'll work with the grounds, and they really thank us for coming there early and planning and working with them. they often say, do you want to do something at the end? So we played at Newlands the day after the Test match. We played at Gaul Fort, and Dharamsala in the Himalayas in India. So Aruna de Silva, he was the chairman of the IPL. He's the guy that governs the ground there. I built a relationship with him, and he said, let's have a game the day after the Test match. So the day after the Test match, we were playing in the Himalayas against some monks.
It's a beautiful. I remember seeing that in the World Cup in 23.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, background there.
Snow on the hills. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about cricket. You play in some incredible places, and that's what one of the major addictions to the Barmy Army is. Like, you can go to the Himalayas, you can go to see the Dalai Lama in the morning and go to the Test match in the afternoon if you want.
What's the best one in Australia? 2 questions. What's the most fun, and what's the best one, like, operationally, for you as a business versus you as a fan?
Great question. So the most fun by a country mile, Melbourne. I think we've got a Christmas Day dinner at the Crown Casino, and we've got 1,500 people, single serve dinner in the Crown. We're in touch with Guinness World Records because we think it might be the biggest ever single serve Christmas dinner at the same time. So we're working with them on that.
How many turkeys?
Well, exactly. I mean, there's 2.
That's the stuff we want to know.
Yeah, how many turkeys? Yeah. So
can you actually make sure you get the data?
We will.
How many turkeys? How many potatoes? How many sprouts? Get it out.
2. That might be 2 world records. The most turkeys in one single serve. Anyway, but then Melbourne, just in itself, we have so many parties going on. There's so much going on. That's always the biggest tour. So to give you the numbers behind it, out of the people that we're traveling there, over half of the people will be in Melbourne all at once. So that's, for us, is the biggest operational task. So that's the hardest operationally, but the most fun, if you get it right. Probably the best in terms of the business is Adelaide, because it's the stadium is beautiful. Yeah. It's so close to the CBD. You walk over the bridge. It's very, very easy. It's quite small. And you've got the old historical nature and feel to it. So you've got the grass bank with this beautiful stadium around it. And it was where the Barmy Army was founded. So.
Is it?
Yeah, in Adelaide.
Should know that, didn't.
There's a plaque on the scoreboard.
Oh, I bet the Aussies love that.
Yeah. Love to hate it.
Kind of separate point, but just while we were talking about grounds, I was looking at the destination for the grounds for the next Ashes here. No Headingley, no Old Trafford. I mean, Edgbaston, Trent Bridge. If we can't really call that North, can we? Our Northern fans would criticise my Waitrose accent again for saying something like that. But that seems like a massive shame / well, not an oversight, but just what's the prioritisation being here? You can't lose Headingley in particular, the moments we've had there over the years. It's
crazy how you can lose Headingley. Like, it has generated so many amazing Ashes moments, like that people. I know people say, well, it doesn't matter what the ground is for an amazing moment; it can happen anywhere. But there's something magical about Headingley in an Ashes Test match and things happening. So it is devastating, and it's devastating for the counties. It's a massive loss. But on the flip side to that, like Rod Bransgrove at the Ageas Bowl for Hampshire's done such a great job and did a great job during COVID. For him to get an Ashes Test match is very good news for Hampshire and for Rod. But I think we've got to do better as cricket with the Ashes. And I've been saying this ever since the Olympic Stadium was built. Why can't we have a Test match at the Olympic Stadium? Why can't we do that during the summer? You can get 60,000 people and have the biggest ever Test match in the UK, or even have an IPL game there. Let's try and utilise the facilities we've got and generate a bit more noise around the game. And I think we've got the facilities. We just need to have a bit of foresight and try something new.
Have you ever got an answer to that?
I don't think anyone really knows.
Welcome to sport.
Yeah. I'll ask Richard Gould and see what he says.
I mean, it is perfectly set up, isn't it? Because the athletic stadium means that you get the space.
Yeah, I think the argument would be, well, the Oval and Lords have got to get a Test match every year, so how could we? But maybe sometimes there is an opportunity to do that. We should do it. I
just feel like on a cycle, Old Trafford or Headingley, I completely agree. You want to spread it around, and it's great to reward the grounds where a lot of work's gone into it. And
definitely,
the South Coast is very different to London. So
yes.
I'm not just going to package that all in one.
Yeah.
But if it's going on a cycle, it should be Old Trafford and or Headingley. It shouldn't be neither of the two, because you're just taking it out from such a passionate part of this country for its cricket.
Yeah, exactly. And you create divide by doing that. And there's no need to. Like, there is absolutely no need to create division by taking a north-based Test match out of the Ashes series. I mean, if you are travelling from Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, Durham to get to a test match, you spend a long time to get to Trent Bridge or Edgbaston, and you think, is it worth it? I'll just watch it on TV. So again, that part of the nation is already got the backup a little bit against the Ashes. So we'll see.
Yeah. Look, kind of closing into the final focus, let's look at the most important stuff. So, we talked about it. Obviously, we're positive. What do you think? If I'm putting you on the line, what's going to happen? I mean, obviously we're going to win. So how much are we going to win by?
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't 5-0.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah. No, I think in all honesty, I genuinely do. I fancy us in Perth for that first test. New conditions, new format, and then it's anyone's game in Brisbane. It's a day-nighter. It's at the Gabba. It's going to be swinging all over with the pink ball. It'll be finished in 3 days, but it could go either way.
Woakesy surely had to play that one, didn't he?
I know, it's devastating, but I'm excited by our bowling attack. So let's hope that out of those first 2 tests, we take one of them, maybe 2 of them. So let's say 1-1 going into the 3rd test. Adelaide, tough place to go, but the England fans will be strong. And if it's 2-1 to either team going into Melbourne, Sydney, we've got an amazing spectacle on our hands.
Yeah. It will be. I mean, that would be incredible, wouldn't it? That's kind of your dream for you guys.
And
obviously with the business hat on and the fan hat.
A dream on it. Yeah. If we're winning going into Melbourne, wow. I don't think I'll be so excited. Melbourne, strong place for us.
Yeah.
I always fancy us in Melbourne.
It's going to be so much on fitness, isn't it? I mean, obviously we mentioned fitness on Australia's side, but for us, you've got to have Wood and or Archer.
Yeah, exactly. And like Cars as well.
Cars.
He looks like the real deal, and someone you need warriors in an Ashes series, and he looks like someone that's up for the fight. So yeah, I think, can we take 20 wickets? That's the biggest question. Let's hope.
Well, it'd be amazing. Wood and Archer play the first, and then alternate for the remainder. Yeah, that could be quite nice.
Yeah,
let's not get greedy, but I mean the pressure also then is Bash is going to have to hold down an end for a while, isn't he? So
he is. And it's a tough ask, but ultimately, if we've got Wood and Archer fit, they're potentially the best 2 fastest bowlers in the world. I mean, you've got to have a good chance, haven't you? And the best thing that could happen is England do well in that first test, because the Aussies are very, very quick to pick up on their own team.
Yeah.
The media will get on their back straight away of Labuschagne not scoring runs or Khawaja being past it. So if England can do well and get on top early, the media could work in our favour.
Keep the same team that we stick with?
I will always.
You can't drop Potent, I don't think.
You've got to back him.
Yeah.
You've got to give them the opportunity. And ultimately, you look at his numbers, they're good.
All right.
They are good. And he scored 100 against India. I know he didn't get a lot more than that, but you've got to back him, you've got to trust him and see where it goes. I know people love Jacob Bethel and are very excited by him, as am I. But it's massive. Like the Ashes away is a big step, and let's hope when he gets his opportunity, he'll show that courage and charisma that he's shown before.
We had him on here. And he said, he was really honest. He was like, yeah, sometimes those, I think he said 19. It was so specific. So like, those first 19 balls I can find really difficult, but then get through it.
That's the thing with him. When he's in and he's flying, he's going to go well when he's on. But he does look relatively vulnerable at the top of the order. But at the same time, it's such a tough job what he's doing. I always say opening batsman in Test cricket and coming in at 3 is one of the toughest roles in all sport, because you've got thousands of people in the stands vying for blood. You've got the bowlers that are trying to knock your head off. You've got less than a millisecond to react to the ball, and you've got to be made of strong stuff to be able to deliver at that level. So fair play to the lads that do it.
I mean, that's the thing. You look at what we've got at the top now. Even if people moan about Crawley,
I love it.
He's played 60 odd tests.
Yeah,
50.
Played a lot of cricket.
60 odd tests. It's like that consistency. It's just what you want, and that's what I love. We've always, from the start, it's been about that consistency, that trust.
Yeah,
right? It's not going out with any fear.
Yeah,
and I don't mean fear from your style of play, but just fear of your position. If you've got the backing, play your game.
And there's the other element of that opening partnership where you've got someone who's 6'4" and someone who's 5'7", and as a left hand, right hand, and as a bowler, wow, it's a different delivery every ball if they're rotating the strike. So I think there's a bit of science behind it as well. So and they seem like the right characters to be able to just say, let's see if we can be 100 off 20 overs as quickly as possible.
State the bloody obvious, but I think those two will be a massive part if we do well. I mean, Duckett, best multi-format batsman in the world, probably.
Yeah. Probably.
You can see if they get us off to the starts that they've done previously.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not often our issue. Our issue is not losing in batches.
Yes.
We love throwing them in all at once. But
love to start well. First innings, let's bat first, get 500, and just get the confidence going straight away in Perth.
You love it.
Yeah, I think you've got to. Like, it's for me, it's an amazing job, and it's an amazing thing to be doing, to be driving this amazing brand, community, business forward, and behind it underlies a real passion for the sport. And as I said to you before, we are fans delivering for fans, and hopefully we can do our bit to help the England cricket team.
So finally, if we're looking at developing Barmy Army then as a business, you've got shareholders, you now are doing really good numbers in revenue. Do we look at this as we want to build the best business? Potentially there's an acquisition here that gives us greater opportunities to bring different parts in. It gives us bigger budgets to be able to go and do stuff. How do you view the whole thing? What are you working towards?
Great question. It's something as a board we sit down and we look at, and we try and work as far out as we can, because there's always new opportunities, I think, for the brand to take it into either new sports or new areas, or to develop it globally in cricket. So there's two avenues. There's one that we want to look to take the Barmy Army into rugby, and we think that there's an opportunity in 2027 at the World Cup in Australia where we can have a presence and have the brand there, and showcase that the Barmy Army is about supporting England, so be it in cricket and now in rugby. The Ryder Cup in America recently, I mean, that's a Barmy Army tour. Seeing if there was a Barmy Army there, giving the Americans a little bit back and showcasing the support for the Europeans, it really it works. It's just always supporting, always positive, always proactive, and that just translates to certain sports really well, like rugby, like golf, and who knows where else. But our responsibility for cricket, on the other hand, is, can we help people like the Bharat Army? Can we help develop something in Australia? Can we help develop a Barmy Army in Pakistan that builds a following and helps them hone in on what's special about being part of a supporter group that drives the game alongside the team? So I think we've got two roles, and like you said, we're always open to developing the business and investment and trying to drive the business side of it forward, because a better Barmy Army business, a better experience for our members and for cricket fans.
What's the blocker for doing it in multiple sports like a rugby? What are the challenges you have to overcome?
Access. So it's access. I guess historical nature of the sport as well is always a challenge. So there's always you're the cricket lot, why should we let you in here, or why should we do something with you? And if you can position the value, what we think the Barmy Army brings to a sport and to an operation, and I think the door should be wedged open. But we've had a problem over the years of misrepresentation of the Barmy Army, of the brand, and people really not understanding what goes on behind the scenes. And I often say people are always shocked about how many we've got in our team, just in our operations team alone. Now, despite the wider business, what it offers, people are always shocked around the size of the business and what we do. But if you actually look into the detail, there's a lot goes on, and it's a relatively big operation in terms of data sizes and in terms of the operation of what we do. So awareness and access, I'd say, are the two main obstacles.
That's amazing. As someone that has interacted with the Barmy Army previously, to actually understand what it's like to put all of this together, the work that goes in behind the scenes, the fandom and community that you create. I love it. I know everyone, I'm sure, who listens loves it. So firstly, I guess, thank you for making it something that has become such an amazing part of our sport, and well done. And I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, so what are we saying? 3-1? 3-1?
Yeah, 3-1. 5-0 or 3-1.
5-0 or 3-1.
Yeah,
nice.
Nothing in between.
That. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But look, seriously, thank you. It's been so fun to talk about this and get a real insight into your world.
Amazing. Thanks for having me on.